Great rising. Great rising, rich rising, salam. Hey, Huncho. Jules. Friend. Miss Impressive. Hey, wealthy rising. Rich rising. Clay Gang. Hey, boo. Great rising, great rising. Where I've been coming on. I ain't come on yesterday. I was tired yesterday. I couldn't do it. It's been a busy season for me these last couple of weeks. So, I didn't come on yesterday, but I've been on here every day. I just been coming on like now because I'm on the West Coast time. I'll probably be on between 8:30 and 9. 8:30 and 9. Because you got to think, it's 5:30 right now for me. 5:30 for me. 5:30. All my West Coast tribe, man, shout out to y'all that was getting up with me. Look, that was getting up with me when I was coming on at 7. Shout out to y'all. I don't know how y'all was doing it. Y'all asses must don't sleep or something. I don't know. But anyway, rich rising. Let's see what we got for today. I don't know if I want to do this or if I want to do cards. I ain't got no cards coming. Let's see what the books say. Okay. Ooh, perfect time. It says the jewel of life. The greatest of human freedoms is the ability to choose at any moment the palette of our emotional sky. We alone activate the very energy and emotion through which we experience life. I'm going to read that one more time because in case somebody didn't catch that. Okay. It says the greatest of human freedoms is the ability to choose at any moment the palette of our emotional sky. We alone activate the very energy and emotion through which we experience life. I talk about this a lot too. I'm loving this book. This is my best friend. It's my best friend. I used to say a lot that, we choose to be sad. We choose to be depressed, mad, angry. It's a choice. Because no matter what it is that's happening at that moment, you have what I like to call the gap, right? You have the gap to make a conscious decision. You have that one little window to make a conscious effort, a conscious decision to say, I'm going to engage in this with anger or I'm going to engage with joy, right? I'm engaged from a space of peace or am I engaging from a space of chaos? Each time we have a moment, it's a small moment sometimes, but we have a moment to choose whether or not we're going to take that experience that is happening at that moment in a negative way or a positive way. So, that is the beauty about us being human or spiritual beings having this human experience is because we have a moment that we can choose. And each moment that something that's happening in your life, baby, you got to really decide okay, how am I going to allow this to affect me? And then how long am I going to allow it to affect me? Because a lot of times we get stuck in the cycle or we get stuck in this whirlwind. We get stuck in this area where it's like, we'll engage in misery, we'll engage in chaos, we'll engage in, frustration way longer than the moment was. You might have got into like maybe the store clerk treated you wrong, right? You got bad service at a restaurant, whatever it may be. That was just in that moment. You had the opportunity to like respond a certain way and shift the whole energy. And if you didn't respond a certain way and shift the whole energy at that moment, you'll see where you'll take it, and now it'll go into days, weeks, months, years. How are you responding to that moment, right? That moment that might be testing your resolve, okay? And how are you making a choice? Are you choosing to make a choice from a space of peace, a space of love? We talked about that yesterday. Or are we making a choice from a space of, pain, wound, suffering? Anytime that you're making a choice from that space, it's just making it harder on you. It's not about anybody else. It's always going to be, how is this affecting you? How are you allowing this moment, this energy to affect you in the physical, in the mental, okay? Trapping an emotion in the body. Like, we have to understand that when you trap that energy in motion, that emotion in the body, guess what's going to happen? It's going to get stagnant. And when it gets stagnant, that's going to disrupt the harmony of what this human body is supposed to be doing. And it's going to come out on the physical plane to let you know, hey, I have emotion, some sort of pain, so some sort of something that you decided to keep, to hold on to, instead of releasing it when the situation happened, instead of releasing it when it first came up. Anytime that we're holding on to that energy emotion, it is going to disrupt. Let's be clear. Either in a different emotion that goes from frustration to anger to rage, or it's going to, start affecting the kidney, the liver. Each emotion is attached to one of our actual organs. And you got to think, what energy are you holding on to the most? Most of the time when I'm doing my holistic nutrition counseling, I'm paying attention to the conversation that I'm having with someone and what energy seems to come up for them the most. What emotion seems to trigger them the most. Oh, you seem like you stay in constant rage. That's why we have an XYZ going on in the body. How are they talking to me? When I'm doing that interview, that's why I always do an intake process. What is it that they're saying? Do they seem like they are a positive person? They thinking, things through from a positive perspective? Or does it feel like that they're complaining a lot? They're woe is me a lot? Depending on that intake and that conversation, it'll allow me to really digest, okay, what it is that this person is capable of doing in their healing journey. And that, can honestly dictate whether or not I'm going to work with you or not. Like, every once in a while I go against my better judgment, and that's when I get the one out of however many people that I just be like, dang it. Why I take you? I knew I wasn't supposed to take you. Right? I knew I wasn't supposed to take you. I felt it. Felt it in my gut. So we have a choice in the gap to make a choice that serves us versus a choice that keeps us locked into an energy that we don't like. Locked into an energy that we know will affect us. Now, it is sometimes hard. It is sometimes hard because you have to break the conditioning. You have to break the conditioning. You have to actually understand, okay, there's some conditioning that I've locked into. There's some, societal patterns, family patterns that I've locked into. And so now it's not as easy for me to train the mind to make a choice to do something better. Okay? I love vibes. Vibes always got me some questions, baby. It's free. And by the way, it is Freedom Friday. So if you have questions, this is your day to ask. How do you get so connected with yourself? For me, it has always been, I had to get into a space of stillness. For me, it was meditation. For me, it was the conscious decision or conscious interruption in my chaotic story. I was repeating the same cycle over and over again. And I don't want to say it was an unconscious cycle, but to a degree it was. Sometimes we're so stuck, and at that time in my life, I was so stuck in autopilot. I wasn't paying attention that I was repeating certain cycles. Does that make sense? And then y'all can relate. There was this autopilot, like I'm just going through life, right? I'm just going. I'm just, focused on what's the next thing I need to be doing. But I realized that I was doing that not only within my career, but within my relationships. And I hit a space where I was just like, yo, I don't know about y'all, but I hit that space where I was just like, like, I'm not doing this again. This is stupid. It was one of them first and 48 spaces. You know how, I know my women can relate to this. You know how you hit that space where you be like, I might be contemplating murdering his ass. Like, this might be a time that I'm either about to burn this house down or I'm about to do something to you in your sleep. Like, I'm really thinking real hard whether or not I can get away with murder at this moment in time. Like, you really tried me. You tried me. I'm about to be on the news. They about to make a movie about me. Hey, Farhan, right? So when I hit that space, because I've never really hit that particular plateau, but when I hit that space, I was like, yeah, let's sit down for a minute. Let's just have a conversation with self, because you get ready to do something. Like that particular person brought me completely out of my character, like completely. And I was just like, once I had hit that extreme, amount of frustration with someone, I knew that it was time for me to be still. As grandma would say, go set your ass down somewhere. Yeah, I was like, let me go set my ass down. Let me reevaluate. Let me pause. Because what I'm doing in my career, which seems to be working, like it always was working, is not working over here. It ain't working over here. I'm not digesting certain stuff. I'm not paying attention to the signs. And you cannot autopilot with people. Right? I was like, let me go ahead, sit down, reevaluate. And, in that moment, I made a choice to do better. And I realized for me that I had to go to the root of what it is that caused me pain. Like, what is it that is making me repeat a toxic cycle, right? So I'm going to tell y'all, there's 2 shifts that happened to me in my own personal process. That was one of my shifts. Thank you, my cycle, for the badge, baby. I didn't even see it. Grand Rising, right? There was 2 shifts that happened in my cycle. The first one was that was my conscious interruption of the autopilot cycle. And I realized I had to get to the root of the pain, which for me, I had went through a lot of sexual trauma. Because I had went through a lot of sexual trauma, it kind of created this pattern, right? So I read a book called Allies in Healing. That Allies in Healing was the start of my shift. I knew that I had to sit down and really work intentionally on the wound. Okay. So that was the first shift, which was good because it sent me down the path, and it's the reason that I'm here now. Okay. It sent me down a path, and it's the reason that I'm here. The second shift was when I got tired of my career. And I had been doing this, like I tell y'all, I've been in fashion for like since I was 20 something, right? That shift when I was kind of like, I don't want to do this no more. They done burnt me out. I'm tired. I don't want to be working this hard for no money. Like, you got these bills, but I'm working real hard to produce this money. And it don't seem like you ever get a little break in between. That wasn't working for me. I was like, I should not be working this hard. I was contemplating some strange things from some change. I'm just saying. I wasn't going to do it, but, you know. It's just like, I need a sugar daddy or something because it's got to come a little easier than what this is right here. This has got to come a little easier. All right. And that's the second shift. That's when I started getting more into astrology. That's when I got into human design. That's when I got into a lot of the things that I'm into and that I teach now. And the reason I teach this phase is because I learned how to understand who I am on a deeper level and connect to myself on a deeper level than just working on the pain. I think that you have to do both. Let me be clear. You have to do both. You have to like identify what is at the root of your dysfunction, your chaos, your patterns, your cycle. But on the other side, you also have to understand that there's what helped me is when I got my chart, when I got my blueprint, that this was already my story. Sometimes we get stuck in the blame game or feeling shame because of our story. And I can honestly say there was parts of my story that I felt like, damn, why did I have to go through this? Or like, damn, why did I make these type of choices? Or why did I go through it? Like there was a moment and moments that still followed after I did the root healing that I was still kind of like, God, why does these type of dynamics keep happening to me? What did I do? Like, I'm not, a horrible person. I have some crazy thoughts sometimes, but I'm like, I never really have been like, I wasn't partying a lot. I wasn't like, when I had my kids, I got 6. Let's be clear. I wasn't that girl that like that. All my kids were produced out of like lengthy relationships, intentional relationships. I was actually like with these people in real relationships, like to the point like I always tell you, I think I'll be joking when I'll be like, I done got proposed to multiple times. So these dynamics had me like, damn, why am I going through this? I ain't even this person. I'm not even moving a certain way, but this is my story. It was me getting my astrology chart, which is my natal chart, and me getting my human design that helped me understand how my energy was working anyway. I have the seductress energy in my chart. Like, that shit is in me naturally. And then on top of that, it's more like a Black Widow energy. It's not like, oh, I used to make a joke with all my friends, and I told my mom one time, I was like, dang, I must be broken. This is before I knew my chart. I was like, damn, I must be broken. I said, because I don't have it in me. Like, if you do something really jacked up to me, you doing some craziness to me in a relationship, like, and my craziness don't be as big as anybody else, but like I have people who have went through, somebody cheating on them consistently. They done got in a relationship with a habitual cheater or somebody who was abusive. I can't even imagine because I'm going to leave your ass over something way more simpler. You don't know how to talk to me right. I can't do this. You talking to me like you crazy and you sound like you ain't got no damn sense because you keep coming out your mouth left towards me like I'm your child. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'll give you one time. I might give you twice. I done said it. By that third time, like, nah, I'm out. I can't do it. You ain't got your finances together. I'm not dealing with you. I give you an opportunity to get your money together. Get your money game together. Okay? But after a certain amount of time, if I'm still in hustle mode and you still doing some regular smuggler shit, I'm not going to deal with you. I can't. It's not in me. So yeah, so for some people that might be little stuff, but for me, it'd be major. But it's in my chart too. It took me knowing my astrology chart. It took me knowing my human design chart to have an ideal of how my energy works and how my energy is affected when I'm with other people. Once I understood that and it gave me that awareness, I was like, oh, so that's why XYZ happened. That's why I keep getting these type of dynamics. My whole channel is about the channel of mate, and I'm going to bring in people who are going to produce babies from me. I naturally, my energy moved through the world. I came here, I tell people all the time, like, my chart tell you that I came here to make babies. It's part of my healing. It's part of the reason I'm here. I came to help y'all asses stay, living. I'm here. I did my contribution to the planet. I done gave y'all 6 people. I done gave y'all 6 people to keep, society going. But that is part of what it's in my chart. So I love when you can, not only before that type of information, identify the things that might keep you disconnected, the things that might keep you repeating the same pattern, the things that might produce pain and chaos in your life, right? But I absolutely admire and respect systems like astrology, systems like human design, systems like Gene Keys, that it will break it all the way down where you'll know. Like when I read all my stuff, I was like, damn, how they know my life like this? I remember like the astrologer, he has never met me. And it was like when he read my chart for the first time, I was like, so you know my life a little bit, huh? You know what I done been through. Oh, okay. I feel seen, but it's okay. Like, it helped me. It helped me to really make peace with myself. Make peace with my own thoughts. Make peace with my own past. And that was really important in allowing me to evolve in my own consciousness, allowing me to evolve in my own spiritual growth. It set me free. It literally, like I can tell y'all, my first astrology reading, even though we were off on a time about an hour, it still set me free. And it set me free in a way that it confirmed who I was supposed to be in the first place. It confirmed some of the things that I had been feeling already. It gave me the invitation to really fully go into what I do now. And that's the part that I appreciate it, because it gifted me an opportunity to let go of the conditioning, to let go of the patterns, okay? To let go of, being hard on myself. Like, I was really hard on myself about feeling like, damn, I keep picking the same type of dude. The same type of energy. How I fix that shit? Because I was like, damn, how is it that every time I get my career to this point right here, I'll be right there, y'all. I'll be right there at the breaking point. I used to always be in this position where, like, my breakdown or breakthrough moment happened right when I was working with a very well-known celebrity, and I was doing stuff with them, and I had just opened a store. We were getting ready to go into opening a business together. So my career was popping. My money was good. And I was like, Relationship side was chaos. I was like breaking up with my fiance, going back to a karmic relationship that I had been in and out of since I was 16. Like, I was pregnant again. Did not know I was pregnant at that time, but I was pregnant. And it was like, here we go. And I don't know about y'all, when a lot of stuff, chaos and confusion seem to be going on in your personal life, you don't move as effectively, or you don't, well, I still kind of do because that's my coping mechanism, but most of the time it still kind of affects everything else that's going on in your life. You're not like, I got so numb in that season of my life. I was numb to everything that was going on, and I was experiencing some great highs in my career. Okay, I was experiencing some great highs in my career, but because I was personally going through so much, I was moving in a very numb space. Like, so numb that it was like I couldn't even appreciate, what was happening. I remember for this particular artist that I was doing a lot of their stage outfits, we were at BB King's the month that everything popped off. And they were performing, with like Jennifer Hudson. I forgot who else was all on that bill. There was a lot of like major, big names on that bill. And so when I was backstage, we had started, like, we had already been making certain pieces, but this was like one of them pieces that it was red, it stood out, and everybody was like trying to figure out like who her designer was. And I'm backstage, and it's like I'm sitting there with Beyonce's stylist at the time, all the major players in fashion at that time. I couldn't even enjoy it. I couldn't even really click into what I needed to click in. I couldn't even take in the moment. I couldn't even take in the moment because I was on autopilot. All I was thinking about was like, I got this situation going on back home. Right? I got this situation going on back home, and that's about to be crazy. Like, and that was our last stop before we were supposed to come back to Charlotte. And I was like, this is about to be crazy when I get back home. I don't even want to go home. Like, we ain't got no more stops. Those the type of life I was having. You're welcome, Farhan. Jen said I need to write a book. I'm writing one. I take pauses in my book because I had a lot of, experiences in my life that triggered a lot of my healing. A lot of experiences. So when I hit some of the moments in the book, I have to take a moment and take a breath so I can, come back, reflect on it, and then go forward. So I'm working on it because I have, child. I done lived a life for real. That's why when I'm talking to y'all now, when I'm giving you life or giving you inspiration or giving you tools, I'm giving y'all stuff that I know that works. Thank you, friend, for the badge. I'm giving you tools that I promise if you lock in and you understand from a certain perspective, I know that they work. I like literally love my life right now. Right? I love my life right now. I love being in the space that I'm in. Even when I don't understand what's going on sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, Spirit, this what we doing? This, y'all, okay. But I love my life, and it's like, I wouldn't be able to enjoy the experience that I have in this moment of my life if I didn't go through what I went through. So it could produce the awareness. It could produce this level of consciousness within myself. My cycle said autopilot probably protected me. It did. I'm not going to lie, because I still kind of, what I realized that, some of it, a lot of it wasn't really the autopilot, but there is a particular gate, right? There's a particular gate that's in my human design that I do kind of go into this shifting of consciousness when there's a lot going on. So I almost kind of disconnect from reality when there's a lot of stuff going on, just so I can stay centered and I can stay balanced. This is why it's real easy for me to be like, you got a choice. And this is also why I understood that there was a gap or a moment or a pause right before you make a decision to react, right? Or respond to something from a negative perspective. How do I juggle it all? You know what? Without pressure. When we think about, like, a lot of times we feel like everything got to stay afloat or everything got to be balanced or everything got to go perfect. I think because I'm a 1-3, which is my profile in human design, I'm trial and error, right? I'm willing to, like, risk it all. And everybody ain't built for that. I'm just going to let y'all know everybody ain't built for that. But I am. I'm like, if it doesn't work, then what's the worst that can happen? I can get it all back again. Like, I don't move with a mindset that I'm going to mess up. I used to, when I was younger, I used to feel like I was messing things up. But then, like I said, once again, learning systems like human design, which tells me I'm trial and error anyway. Soon as I got that information, I was like, oh, so I'm supposed to stumble and fall over stuff and, run into walls so I can discover what works and what doesn't work. And then I come back to y'all and be like, child, you know what don't work? You know what? That's why, whether the spiritual community be beefing with me or not, that's why I'm one of them ones that I be like, if y'all don't stop taking y'all asses to them retreats and the people them telling y'all broken, and then you come home with the hype for about 2.2 seconds and then you still ain't got no tools to help you get better. Like, you still over here like, because I was one of those. I did all the retreats. I was a part of certain sacred circles. I did all of the things, worked all of the dynamics, all the tools, read all the books before I went through my breakthrough moment. And I still was doing the same dumbass shit. And even when I decided to, like, go through my first breakthrough, it was still those dynamics that it was residual. It was stuff still there that was wounded and unhealed, that still hadn't been processed. And I didn't understand it. When I got my human design, when I got my astrology chart, that helped me really understand, no, this is who you are. This is your energy. There's a reason that you filter out information. There's a reason that you don't easily follow behind people. I've always been the one that was in the circle that would be like, why you following? I could literally be in a way of life. Like when I got into the 5%ers or the Nation of Gods and Earths, when I was like 18, 19, I still was questioning a whole lot of stuff. I still was sitting there like, so why y'all do this like this? Like, I still was like questioning why they were following with blind faith to a degree. Okay. So when it comes to now what I can say is that the one thing that I don't, take lightly in my life is that I always start my day with a regimen. I always start my day with consistency. I always start my day with acknowledging, the fact that I woke up, acknowledging the things that I'm grateful for, and making sure that I'm intentional with my movement throughout the day. My mother instilled in me, like at a very early age, to always, like, I got a notebook, it's on the other side of the bed, but to like always make a list. What is your to-do? So you are moving with intention throughout the day. This is why I get a lot of stuff done really quick before everybody else. Because I'm like, nah, I don't like being all over the place. And I don't like feeling like I didn't get what I needed to get accomplished and it's dragging out. That irritates me the most. Like, even since I've been out here, there's like, what I'm doing out here, everybody's giving me these different pieces of information, but I'm like, damn, y'all ain't got this in a whole book or something. So I already started creating my own book. Like, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. I don't like when it's all over the place like that. What do you think about an open heart center? That means that you, one thing, I have an open heart. So I always tell people, like, you're here to love deeply. You're here to understand what love is. You're here to know your worth. You're here to understand how valuable you are in situations and not seek for validation or recognition from other people. even though it's part of, what keeps you there. But like, don't go in a space where you're overly, if you have an open heart, that you're overly striving to compensate for people. Like, I have an open heart, so I used to do a lot of stuff where, let people drive my car, come stay in my house, they be tearing shit up. Like, I used to do a lot of stuff, go over and beyond, to help people, to the point where it was, I don't want to say it was harming me, but it was putting me in where I'm, now I'm compromised. Now I've given too much time and energy to you. And then with me being a projector, you don't recognize the time and energy that I gave you, or this gift that I gave you. So, yeah. Then that would trigger a whole, I'm an open emotional center too. So that would trigger that whole 0 to 100. Now I'm pissed. You just was dealing with love and light, lady, over there. But now you getting chaos and confusion. You getting war. I'm not like that no more sometimes. 90% of the time. Hey, Yo Soy. Yeah, 90% of the time. But like, the juggling thing for me has always been, I just go with the flow. When it's not going in alignment, if it's feeling like it's resistant, okay. When it feel like it's being resistant, then hey boo, I just I step back and I allow it to, like, work its way out. We're like, oh, this ain't work out for me. That means that wasn't for me. There's something else in alignment for me. There's something else that's going to be gifted for me. That's my energy with everything right now in my life. If something's not working, I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to force it. I'll be like, well, that just wasn't for me. There's something better in alignment for me. Something better. Now I just got to allow it to happen. That's like right now, I got 2 offices out here on the West Coast because we discovered that state won't accept one office the way that it is. And I was like, it'd have been nice to know that before I paid this money for this office. So I'm like, well, maybe I'm supposed to use that office for what I really do, my other business versus the new business that I'm opening up. I was like, they're going to force me to do the other stuff that I do while I'm out here. As much as I'm running from it, it's still gonna force. It's like, no, this is what I need you to do. Don't forget that you do this. I'm like, damn, well, I can't just come out here and do this where I wasn't gonna have to work this. Just saying. So I hope that helped. Hey, Ro. Like, I hope that helped. I'm not like a whole dogmatic person when it comes to, how to keep everything going. I am a structured person. I will say that. I definitely believe in structure. I believe in, if you can at least set the beginning and the end of your day and have an ideal of how you're going to move throughout the day, it helps a lot. Now, the other part that I have implemented in that over the years is being able to make sure that I'm always reconnecting to self. Always. Like, if I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed or whatever, I make sure that I'm intentionally taking the time to reconnect to myself, to reconnect to spirit, to reconnect to being present. Because sometimes when you're busy, you're just doing, and you're not being. And for my particular blueprint, it is important for me to just be. It's important for me to be connected to, like, the innermost divine part of who I am. And it's like, I find beauty in that space. Now, when you are still healing, sometimes we don't like that space. We don't like to be connected to ourselves. We don't like to be connected to the part that still needs to be healed, the wound. So it is not as comfortable. But once you start healing that and once you start resolving that and getting all that brought to the surface, it's real comfortable in my skin. It's right. That's why I love that song "Cozy" by Beyonce. It's like, yeah, I'm real cozy with who I am, with my own energy and my dynamic. And I have to be very careful on my energetic being, because sometimes, being a projector, I can get pulled into, like, there's a lot of generators around me right now. So it's like I can get pulled into their hustle and bustle, and then it'll burn me out. And I have to, like, have enough conscious awareness to say, y'all doing too damn much. I'm not doing nothing. Like yesterday, I ain't do nothing. I did one thing. I went to go sign for a new office, but I got me some food and I brought my ass back to the house. And I stayed still for the whole day. Why? Because I knew that I was moving too fast. And when I move too fast, I'm going to misstep. Okay? I'm going to be disconnected and go into their whirlwind. And I'm like, that's not what works for me. And my shit be costly when I misstep. I don't like that. Like, I think I would have caught the office situation. Well, no, I wouldn't have. I think, like, I don't like just rushing and moving too fast. I like to actually be in alignment to make sure that it flows right, if that makes sense, or whatnot. I don't see no more questions. You love the transition. Yay. I love, like I said, the tools that I do teach about. I'm excited for the generator class tomorrow. I got so many damn slides, though. I don't know how we about to squeeze this into 2 days. So I hope y'all prepared for at least 2 hours of class tomorrow. And in 2 hours, I'm going to try not to go over 2 hours. I'm trying. That's all I'm going to say. Because I got like over 60 slides. Some of them, I guess I might have to just try to, send y'all in y'all email. But yeah. What time is the class? You should have got an email, Squeaky. The class starts at, what time the class start, y'all? Tomorrow, for me, it's at 2. So that's what, 5 for y'all. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. West Coast time. And then the next day is 3 p.m. West Coast time, which is 6 p.m. For y'all. Yeah, I love teaching. I love helping people see or get the aha that they need to get. So I do the slides. I'm just going to forewarn y'all. I do the slides to try to keep me on track on what we're supposed to be talking about. Because when I get in the moment, I am an intuitive teacher. So sometimes, like, even when I do these lives, I literally just kind of, what I feel like needs to be said is going to come out. Like, I got so much information in me that sometimes it's hard when I'm doing the classes, because I'll be trying to make sure I'm pulling all the information out for y'all. So you can get, what I got. I get what I got. And then I always overteach. Like, I always tell people I give you way more than what, the class costs. Because I end up just giving a lot. I give a lot. That's that open heart that somebody was asking about. That's that open heart center. That open heart center make me overgive. But as my mentor said, this is who I was meant to be. Yeah, I'm meant to overgive. Like, even though I have an awareness when I done did too much, or like making sure that I'm not doing where it's harming me, knowing the balance of where I need to overgive versus where I'm doing too much. Okay. Thank you, My Cycle, for posting that. I appreciate you. All right. So I just wanted to wrap it up with that. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will that y'all have an amazing weekend this weekend. I am super excited about what's going to go on this weekend. I actually get the keys to my now second office. Second office tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Monday. So next week is going to be the fun part, because I like to decorate. When, if ever, is it a good time to put your guard down or let your guard down? Why is your guard up in the first place? That's what I'm going to say. Why is the guard up in the first place? That means you feel the need to be protected, or you're feeling the need to be guarded. So why is it up in the first place? Especially when history repeats itself. Okay, if you feel like history is repeating itself and then somebody else said past experiences. Oh, so this is a comment. Let me find out. Let me say this. You gotta, number one, everybody gotta remember that the experiences that we're bringing to ourselves are experiences that are directly connected to our healing. Experiences that we bring to ourselves are experiences that are directly connected to your healing. So if you're repeating an experience, you need to see what's at the root of that dynamic. Why are you repeating this particular experience? Because the answer is not to have your guard up. Let me just make that apparent. It's not. That don't work. That don't work. The answer is to find out, why is this experience still coming to me? Because there's something that I'm missing in the healing process of this dynamic. So what is it that, if it's a toxic relationship, or, allowing yourself to love, or trusting new people in your circle, you got to pay attention to what is needing to be healed within your shadow self, what is needing to be healed within you, okay? Or brought to an awareness that needs to be maybe resolved, so you can stop repeating that same cycle. Or, like when I went through the relationship cycle and I got to that space of like, why I keep getting the same. I'm not going to say what I want to say because a lot of people I'm still friends with that are my exes. But I would get the same situation or scenario. And I wasn't understanding until I actually got to the root of it. That was a major part of my healing. It's a major part of my story. Okay? So once I realized that this was a major part of my story, there was other parts in my chart that allowed me to heal the narrative, that allow me to have a more understanding. It's like, oh, you got a Pisces moon, so you blowing through the red flags. Your Pisces moon is allowing you to see the God in them, but let's be clear, them red flags is going to be the signpost to tell you that this person is not in alignment with you. They're not on your level. So you're getting ready to experience the same damn lesson that we just taught your ass with the last relationship, but you don't want to listen, so we're going to let you go through it again. So you got to really figure out, like, what are the red flags? What are the triggers? It's just like getting off of drugs or like trying to stop a toxic behavior or, a dynamic. What are my trigger points that are making me go into the same cycle again? Now I feel like I got to go on the defense. No, you're not supposed to go like guards up. You should never be walking around in fight or flight, because that's what that is. It's a fight or flight response. That's not the way to move. You have to like, what's the awareness? If it's something that and I know the couple people who said, past experiences and whatever, what is it? Because you got the answer. You're like, damn, I hope this person don't do this. Well, why are you already thinking they doing that, first of all? Because whatever you thinking is what you're going to produce in your reality. Number one, whether that person capable or not, that's what you're going to produce. You're going to bring forth your worst fear, right? The other part is you got to also pay attention to, like, okay, let me be real with myself. What am I missing in this lesson? If you got your human design chart, I highly recommend, this is why I love human design, highly recommend for you to pull that chart and look at all your open centers. Look at your chart. What open centers do you have? Everywhere that you are open, you are naturally putting out a frequency that I need to learn in this area. They are your master teachers in this lifetime. So if you got a lot of open areas like me, I got a lot of master lessons. I got PhDs when it comes to the heart and when it comes to my G center. I got PhDs. I got PhDs when it comes to that emotional center. Okay? I'm still mastering my root center. I'm still mastering. That will still bring me experiences to like try to apply pressure on me. But I'm learning. I'm starting to pass my test. I did good this week. I was like, hell no, I'm about to lay down. Y'all doing too much. Tired just thinking about it. Got a whole week without nobody in the house. It's just me. It's just me and my little cousin. My little cousin. Right? It's just us. And he a manifestor, so there's no pressure being applied in my life right now. So you got to look at it like that's one from a science perspective. Pull your chart. See what the open centers is. Those open centers are your master teacher. They're going to consistently bring you lessons to help teach you what you came to learn or what you came to be a master of in this lifetime. Number 2, get real. Like, whatever it is that you're on guard for, that is a thing that you need to heal. Not be on guard. Actually heal it. Like, oh, I don't make good decisions when it comes to my relationships. Why am I not making good decisions? What is it? Because I had it like that was me. I had to realize like, damn, why you keep picking the same person? What is it that you're missing? Are you going into the relationships too quick? That you didn't give it enough time to breathe? You didn't give it enough time to like really vet this person? Did you think that you could be Miss Fix It? I naturally want to fix shit. It's in my DNA. It's in my chart. I want to fix shit. Did you really like, oh, they got a lot, like they got all these good characters. I can fix that one thing right there. They money ain't good. I'm a master of making some goddamn money. I can get to the bag. I can show, that's going to rub off. Let me show them how they can do X. I swear, y'all, I swear. Then I started realizing like, Chad, take that energy and redirect it into people who paying you. Take that energy and redirect it into an actual situation that is beneficial for you. Don't take this situation and try to be Miss Bob the Builder. Miss Bob the Builder, okay? This Miss Bob the Builder, sit your ass down. We ain't building a man today. We not. I promise we not. Okay, most times it's people showing their true colors when I allow people to get close to me. When my first notion says, you remember the last time? I think. Okay, I just overly trust. I would love to see your chart, Yo Soy. I would love to see your chart. Let me say this, though. And I want to say this for everybody, not just Yo Soy. He says most time it's people showing their true colors when I allow people to get close to me. Let's be clear. People going to be peopling. Okay? People are going to be peopling. Everybody is operating from some level of wounded self. Everybody. Everybody is operating from their own level of consciousness. And somewhere, as people, as spiritual beings, we have to learn how to extend more grace. They're not intentionally doing something to harm you. Let's be clear. Y'all be thinking that people are really like out here specifically coming and aiming their hurt, their wound, their trauma at you and to create trauma in your life. They're not. That's not a conscious decision. They are striving to figure out their own shit. They striving to get through their own wound. They striving to go through whatever their process is, whether it's a conscious awareness or an unconscious awareness. So the intention is not to hurt you. The intention is just for them to figure out life, just like you trying to figure it out. So if we remove the expectation that people are going to do, or be these amazing people. Not to say that they're not. I automatically give love. I automatically give grace. I automatically give compassion to folks. Right? Sometimes I give too much grace. Because I'm that person, like, no matter what it is that you do, I'm thinking about I automatically go into they're operating from their wounded self. So what would I expect? Now the key is, did you see that they were operating from their wounded self before you allowed them to be close to you? Because what I had to learn is, once again, I cannot be Bob the Builder. If I'm clearly seeing that you have some ways about you that is toxic within your own environment, that doesn't mean that I need to allow you through the gates to come and shit all over my doorstep, over my yard. I can't let you in my environment, because you're going to come over here and mess up mine because you haven't mastered your own. That was my lesson that I had to learn. Like, I already see that you kind of like ain't got a hold and a lock on your environment. I probably don't want to bring you in mine, because if I bring you in my heaven on earth, you gonna turn my heaven on earth to hell. I don't like that experience. For me, I work real hard to create heaven on earth. So I'm gonna let you stay over there, and I can deal with you from over there. I'm gonna come visit you in your land. I'm gonna come drop off some packages, some gifts of knowledge. Okay? I'm gonna come drop this off, and then I'm gonna come back over here. I'm just visiting. I'm gonna leave it in your mailbox though. I don't even want to come in the gate. Okay? So you have to kind of, extend grace, especially with family. Especially with family. You got to think they are dealing with whatever their trauma is, and it's a healing experience and an amazing opportunity for you to heal within your own dynamic, because this is your opportunity to honestly see what is it that's in our lineage. You might be the generational curse breaker. You're the one that's able to see the trauma that needs to be healed. So now I got to be the person that sits down and make sure I'm intentionally going through meditation to release and heal the pain and the trauma of the past. I need to do a class on that. Like, there's a way for you to be the one. If you're seeing it, you're the one that's able to, go and consciously release it. Even if it's just for you and the children, in your lineage. It has to be that conscious choice that let me release, this trauma. So my babies don't go through it, or their babies don't go through it. But one thing we do got to stop feeling or thinking is that people gonna have it together when they come to you. They coming to you, and that saying is the truth. It's like healers attract broken people. We do. Everybody do. All of us are healers. But it's not that you're attracting broken people. You're attracting the lessons that you need to learn within this lifetime. Period. What is it that your family members are showing you? What is it that your family members, what are they bringing to you constantly that they're pushing you to be able to heal, or bring that awareness so you can heal, bring that awareness so you can do the work, so you can break through. There's a lesson in it. And it's not for you to be guarded. And it's not for you to feel like you got to let your guard, I don't, I got to keep my guard up, because soon as I do one thing, now I got to wait for the shoe to drop for you to show your ass. I think it was a couple of days. If you go back, I talked about that like a couple of days ago. Hey, sis. It's lessons on. And I tell people that all the time. There's a lesson that you're supposed to be learning, and it's a lesson that they receive from you. It's always a two-way. It's always a two-way. And they might not receive the lesson that you want them to receive, but you ain't supposed to be worried about that. Worry about what you getting from it. How am I learning? How am I being a blessing to myself in this interaction? The more that I understand that part, that's the key. What they learn, what they gain, what they're supposed to get from it, that's what they get. Let them get it. Okay? Let them get it. Don't worry about if they got the lesson. I've never moved with a vengeful or, even a heart that says I want them to get the lesson. It's just been like, as long as I got my lesson, did I get mine? I want you to get your lesson, but I'm really more concerned about did I get mine? Did I get my lesson? Because I don't want to go through this again. I ain't repeating this shit. I'm not. All right, I'm going, y'all, for real. I love you. I love you. I love you. I will that y'all have an amazing weekend. All my generators, I can't wait to see y'all in class tomorrow and Sunday. If you didn't get an email, make sure that you message me so I can make sure I send the email with all the information. I did have where somebody was asking about the books. These are just books that I recommend. That doesn't mean that you have to have them for class, but I do recommend them because there's a part that I'm going to show you how to break down your own genetic code. All right. Got it? Got it? All right. Good. I love you guys. Peace.